Ciao, hi, hey, hola guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video finally. Check I'm live on Facebook as well. I just about to say I'm on Facebook. Once again, ciao, hi, hey, hola, amigos, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video finally. It's taken me ages to get around to being organised enough to make this video. I did go out for my usual tea mornings on Monday, and I don't know, I slept longer than planned. I slept for from about, when I came back, I had my granddad nap after coming back from the gym finally, and for once I went to the gym, so I slept for about 2 hours, maybe, or even more than that, but no, sorry, 3 hours I think, or even a little bit more than that. But anyway, I'm here now, as I say. But today I want to talk about, as it's the 23rd, I want to talk about the case for investing in and supporting the Black community, especially in America, for Black History Month. I normally like to do the same thing for dyslexics and other neurodivergent people in October and November and December, respectively. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about the case for doing so, obviously reasons to support the Black community, and also maybe how to do so. And I'd love to know any suggestions you have on such out there. So please do get involved in the comments, either on Facebook, YouTube, and or preferably both. So yeah, here goes. So number one, I was thinking of it could be different for different individuals and different groups. So different people and individuals might have their own reasons. So for the Black community itself, I think to support each other, invest in each other, and try and close the racial wealth gap and things like that, and help each other financially, help each other to make more money, or whatever, and listen to each other and be more united, connected as a community with each other, and maybe even with other minorities as a minority themselves as well, to work together against extremism, white supremacy, and that kind of thing. I think makes sense to work together against that kind of thing. Moving on, number two, again, there could be different reasons for different individuals and different groups. And talking of which, please let me know any reasons you think there could be for supporting the Black community in America and around the world, maybe how they could network together globally. Again, for the Black community itself, I think it would make sense to network with other Black people, or even POC generally, or potential allies generally, and that kind of thing, other minorities and whatnot. But yeah, please get involved in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube, or preferably both. And maybe, I hope I can inspire discussions with others as well. So like on TikTok or whatnot. And I've talked recently about how I'd love to interview African Americans and others to talk about their views. But I'd also love to know how you think African Americans could be supported. What are the best ways? I suppose for a spiritual person, they'd probably talk about religious, or a spiritual or religious person, they'd probably talk about spirituality or religion or whatever. And some would talk about financially, and in terms of making more money, which I normally think of like on Mondays, Money Mondays, banking and business, hashtag please buy black, and hashtag please bank black for February. But yeah, it'd be interesting for people to talk about different reasons and different ways as well, the how to support Black people in America and maybe around the world, and how they could connect with each other. So I'd love to know from different people, like what your views are on that. Number three, due to loss of liberty, like due to slavery, colonization, and that kind of thing. I think that would be a good reason to support the Black community. I know I talked about, like, in terms of ways, when I think about it as well, as like tax exemptions, or at least being able to pay the lowest amount of tax as possible. There could also be tax incentives, as I talked about before as well, to sort of encourage companies to invest in the Black community and sponsor projects that support the Black community. So there could be tax cuts for doing that. Number four, I think instead of supporting militarism and wars and things like all these wars going on, militarism, all that kind of thing, I think it'd be cool if people became more passive, like at some point pacifists rather than pacifists, maybe like only fighting in self-defense, and like especially conscientious objectors. And I'd love to talk about rights to resist and that kind of thing. POC and minorities coming together, as well as others as well, potential allies, to talk about rights to resist and that kind of thing, including white allies as well. But I think instead of supporting militarism, it'd be good to support projects like the Black Wall Street. Again, another thing, Black Wall Street was burnt to the ground and that kind of thing. So again, reparations and things like that to come to, loss of liberty, racial wealth gap and things like that. Again, I love to read from different people's responses and answers and whatnot, but also I'd say I think it's better to focus on helping others rather than militarism, invading other nations and that kind of controversial one there. But it's all kind of controversial, I suppose. Even Black history of empowerment can be controversial in some ways, I guess. Number 5, to support Black ambition and see what they can achieve. And again, I think it's something that could give you a purpose in life and something to work on to help people who have been historically oppressed. Some people say it's hard to find a purpose, but I think if you're creative, you can easily find a purpose. Like you can just get a pen and paper or a laptop or whatever and write or type up or even make videos on your purpose and that kind of thing. So I think it's quite easy to find a purpose in this life. There's so much suffering in the world that we could tackle, and this is one thing we could work on to help the Black diaspora in America and around the world. And I often talk about my 5 causes. But yeah, I mean, like for instance, some people say if I lost my job, what would I do? But I think if you like, if they talk about AI, I guess the biggest issue would be finding a way to pay things like bills, food, things like that. But someone was saying about purpose, or a lot of people might say about purpose and being connected to their job. But I can't relate to that. Like to me, it'd be so liberating to not that I haven't had a job for a long time, but if I had the choice to be, it would be so liberating to not have to work. And I'd probably just write and make videos and things like that. But I've got a bit off topic there. But yeah, I think it could be part of a purpose, and I guess with AI and automation generally, the 4th industrial revolution. I think each time an industrial revolution happens, things like that happen. Job disruption, old jobs become obsolete, or or even current jobs become obsolete, and new jobs maybe get formed, but it might take a while if they ever come back. There might be less need for more people, but therefore I think the Black community would be wise to support each other. And it's going to be more difficult for people who already struggle to get jobs. I forgot to say something in point number 4, which is a bit annoying, but I'll say it now anyway. So better late than never, as they say. But I was thinking, like, and again, I know I mentioned a few times that I wanted to focus on empowering the Black community. I didn't want to talk too much about dyslexia or neurodiversity, but there are sort of overlaps which I can see commonality or similarities. So I was thinking to stop the prison or school to prison pipeline. So the challenges a lot of Black and other minority people face, again with the wealth gap and things like that. I think just like with dyslexic and other neurodiverse people, they're overrepresented at the bottom of society. With dyslexics and other neurodiverse people, again, I don't want to talk too much about that, but there's a massive discrepancy, if that's the right way of putting it. So there's lots of people with dyslexia and other neurodiverse conditions, especially dyslexia and ADHD, I think, which end up in prison or at least unemployed, underemployed, and that kind of thing. Whereas there are many who do really well, who become even millionaires, or in some cases even billionaires. So I think it's probably similar with the Black community. It would be amazing to see what they could achieve and to prove critics wrong. To prevent them from getting involved in crime and going to prison and things like that as much as possible. As I say, prevention is better than cure. But moving on, number 6, I was mainly trying to think of reasons and the case for doing so, but also organisations which could help. And I was thinking of, like, I checked on Google and I posted up a link, I think in my last video, or my penultimate one, from last or whatever, if that's the right word, where Spotify did this thing about Black musicians. So it'd be cool to see more companies do that kind of thing, and like Shopify and companies like that helping more Black entrepreneurs to sell their products more often, especially for February and October in Britain. I think that would be cool for companies to invest in Black-owned businesses and that kind of thing, and sponsor them. Again, there could be tax exemptions for doing so. And I think I know I talk about like Italian soccer teams, football teams, and whatnot. Whichever term you want to use, fundraising for the Black community, and I think music and sports could be used to fundraise for such. And number 7, I'd love to see Celtic fundraising for the Black community, and hopefully having a mutual benefit. Hopefully, it'll come back to benefit Celtic, and Celtic will be rewarded hope to talk more about Celtic in March and how I hope to turn the season around. But Celtic could do fundraising for supporting young black entrepreneurs, for instance, and things like that. Black people training in STEM and different areas like that. Or for Monday, it could be Mets, STEM backwards. But yeah, music and sport and other areas could be used to fundraise for the black community. Number 8, POC, people of colour coming together to support each other against white supremacists. Like, for instance, I often think like my fellow Anglo-Indians, my people, Anglo-Indians and other Eurasians as well as mixed race people generally. I'm sure the black community could return the favour, although nowadays I'd love for Anglo-Indians, other Eurasians and mixed race people, as I jokingly call as much, to be philanthropists and that kind of thing. But if we really needed the help, like Anglo-Indians who are struggling, maybe on Anglo-Indian Day, African Americans and black people could return the favour as well. So we could have each other's back and work together against white supremacists. And also, other minorities as well, like supporting each other and working together and helping each other. And again, they could always return the favour, so they could always give back as well. Number 9, as I say, all the things like slavery, colonisation, and things like that, all things that the black diaspora have gone through. I always like to support those who have been oppressed. Not that I think they should play the victim, but I do think it would be good to address the balance and that kind of thing. I'd certainly rather support POC, people of colour, including black people, rather than like white supremacists or whatever. I think a decent shop owner or business owner, an ethical business owner, I'd rather support them than someone just because of their background. But in February, I'd love to support African American entrepreneurs. And number 10, I think support younger people, especially again, that would hopefully keep them out of trouble and show what they can achieve and again prove critics wrong. And on that note, I'm out. Peace and love.